Hi, I will teach you how to remove internal parts of Toshiba Satellite L305D series, particularly the S5930 model, and especially where to buy from reliable suppliers. Okay guys, let's start off taking out the plastic strip located just above the keyboard and take out the anchor screws. There are two anchor screws that hold the keyboard on the top chassis. We have to take them out before we can release the keyboard. Just slide the lock so that you can loosen the flat ribbon connector so that you can remove the keyboard from the system board. Now we're gonna take out 6 screws that hold the top chassis to the system board. And then there are some more wires like the touchpad flat ribbon wire. You have to take them out, as well as the video connector. This is the one. Before we can flip over the machine and take some more components here. The next one is the hard drive. I just took out the hard drive cover. Slide the hard drive out of the hard drive bay. And now I'm gonna take out all the screws on the bottom chassis. There's a good technique that I use to organize small components as well as screws so that I can put back everything in order. Actually, I'm sorry I was not able to use it in this video because I was in a hurry. But if you have a time or if you have a chance to go to my blog site or to my tech blog at www.ifixiteasy.com, you click the tips and tricks section on the category, and then once you open it, you go all the way down until you see the blog post entitled How to Organize Screws Effectively. In that way you can, that's a good method that I used. Now there's some more screws here on this is the battery bay that I am trying to work on right now. There are about 3 screws. In this portion here. Now once you remove all the screws and you're sure, okay, oops, there's another one that I missed, which is the optical drive. To remove the optical drive screws, we have to get into the memory bay, and then this is the one, this is the this is the screw that holds the optical drive. Push the optical drive out of the chassis or out of the system. Just hold on to the metal portion and then remove it. Now I guess we're ready to remove the top chassis. Look for a spot where you can remove the top chassis from the bottom plastic chassis. Just be careful not to yank it, because this type of materials used here are some kind of brittle. So if you're not careful about it, they may crack easily. Actually, it's a little bit stuck, so I'm trying to look for a way how to easily remove them. Maybe I can start pulling out some more connectors here. I guess that's the one that holds it. Okay, there you go. Now you have access to the motherboard. This particular model has a separate DC power jack. The DC power jack has a wire harness and is not soldered on the motherboard itself. Now I'm trying to take out the connector for the media control. This one here is for another USB port, and this one here is the DC power jack. So if you plan to replace the DC power jack, this is a good time to do it. This is the connector for the DC power jack. Yeah, this is the wire DC power jack and wire harness assembly. Oh, I guess this is the one for the media. I'm sorry. Earlier that was not for the media. I think that was for something else. This one is for the media control. The one I just removed. Yeah, this is the media control here. And now we're going to remove the motherboard by taking out the anchor screws. There's one here. I just take it out. And then there's another one here. I'm just trying to figure out how I can remove it and not forcing it out. Please remember, do not force any component. If you think there's like a resistance, when you take it out, do not yank it. Otherwise, you're going to break it. See what I'm doing? I'm just trying to first feel how I can remove it easily. There could be some more connectors. Oh yes, there's a this one this is the power switch connector. So yeah, that's the wire that goes to the power switch. And where else? The Wi-Fi antenna wire I have not removed yet. This is a good time to do it now. And yeah, I think I took everything out, so that's why it's easier to remove now the system board. So okay, so you have now access to the system board and all of its components. Like for instance, if you're trying to take out the CPU, clean out the CPU fan. I'm going to show you how to replace the thermal pad and thermal paste on this section here. Let me take out the heatsink assembly. There's a lock there. There's like a metal strip that that holds it in place. This is the one. And now you can take out the heatsink. You'll see that that's so dirty, as well as the CPU fan. There are two screws that hold the fan to the system board. And look at the dried up thermal paste and the worn out thermal pad. This is the thermal pad here. You have to definitely replace it. If you put a new thermal pad on the video chip, the heat is transferred properly. Okay, now I will show you where to buy parts from reliable source. If you go to my tech blog at ifixiteasy.com, there's a link there that says resource. This is the resource page. I have enumerated and I have highlighted all the reliable suppliers for notebooks. For instance, Adil computers. I can recommend if you're looking for gateway parts and accessories like e-machine gateway parts for notebooks. You check with them. Look for Diana. She knows me. I've also used Ascentec. They're one of the largest wholesale and refurbishers in Ohio. Smart Micro is one big dealer or distributor for LCD screens and parts. CBK in Hayward, California. They're one of the biggest distributors for keyboards, batteries, hinges, inverter boards, power adapters. You checked with them as well. In short, whenever you want to find parts, check the links here first. And okay, for instance, we're looking for a Toshiba part. I can recommend for Toshiba, I could recommend either Laptop Aid or Ascentec. Let's try Ascentec first. This goes directly to the eBay store. You can just type in your part number or model in the search window there. Take for instance, you're looking for a motherboard of Toshiba L305D. We didn't put in motherboard there. There's none. Nothing, huh? Nothing was found in Ascentec. So we'll try Laptop Aid. Laptop Aid has a lot of inventories. I bought several parts from them in the past, and I can guarantee that they can deliver it and they can send you the accurate parts. So let's take for instance Toshiba L300 motherboard, the motherboard. Click search. I guess yes, we found some here. If you notice, guys, the extension, which is the S5930, is not stated here. So if that's the case, I would suggest you go, let's take for instance this one, the motherboard, which is $99, and you see this part here, which is the V. Usually Toshiba parts start with letter V and then followed by the 3 zeros and a bunch of. Usually for the motherboard, the part number is located on the memory socket or the memory receptacle. There's a white sticker there that starts with letter V and followed by a bunch of numbers. So when you get the part number, just run it to the search windows here. Okay, so make sure you get the correct part number, and that goes with the other parts as well. I guess that's it. And Electro Room is about MacBook parts. GigaUSA.net here is also a good supplier if you're looking for memory sticks, and other parts of notebook, you can try them as well. I've tried to run all your inquiries with these links with the recommended suppliers I gave you here. Guarantee they're very good suppliers. You know, when you go to eBay, there are so many suppliers. 9 out of 10 you don't know them unless you have already had experience buying from them. So I already shortcut your job here. I already take out the stress from you when looking for the supplier. So just go ahead with my recommended supplier. I hope I gave you some good tips and ideas here. Please don't forget to subscribe and hope to see you again. Bye.